Hello, Marcus Eikenberry, and I want to talk to you today about a company called unsecuredbusinessfunding.com. And I won't be linking to them. I suppose you can go find them if you want to, but you may not want to after this. I had kind of an unpleasant experience with them. And I just, as many of you who watch my channel know, I am struggling to put together this new company, and I was looking for some funding. And while I have found my funding now through other means, I encountered something along the way that really disturbed me. And it was a website that was recommended to me after doing a search. They were paying for Google ads, and it was a site that talked about getting business funding. And so, I gave them a call and was checking out the information there. And it was pretty interesting because they were very friendly on the phone, and they talked to me. They told me I could get a loan. They told me that they're 4% above prime, and that prime was around 3.5 right now, and so I'd be paying about 7.5 on this loan, and which I thought was an incredible rate, especially considering that after my divorce, my credit was shot, and I'm in the process of rebuilding it again. I'm caught up on everything again, and it's all, going hunky-dory in that area, but, it takes a while to repair your credit. And I thought at a 7.5 percentage rate, a flag went off for me. I was like, how can they do that? So I talked to them more about it and asked them, basically what the process is. And the process is that you pay them $250, and then they consult with you on getting you the loan, and they'll work with finance guys to get you approved and get you the loan. Otherwise, they'll give you a refund on that initial $250 that you spend with them. And they want that right away, by the way, before you get anywhere. Now, I thought this was kind of interesting because I've never paid to get a loan. And so I, did a little research. And when I did a little research, and I did unsecuredbusinessfunding.com in quotes in Google, and then added the word complaints, I came up with all kinds of stuff. And so I'm really glad that, that red flag popped up for me that caused me to go and look further into this before giving them my credit card information or Social Security or any of that kind of stuff. I'm very leery of being scammed. I've been the victim of identity theft once, and that was somebody who did it on purpose just to make a point. I've been the victim of fraud many times, and my business, I deal with fraud every day. And so I see this stuff and I say, I better, check into it. So I spoke with a guy named Jared. And Jared, when I looked things up, appears to be one of the owners. And but when I asked him whether he was an owner or an employee, he said he was a funding specialist. And anyway, he didn't answer me one way or another. And there's some other interesting things. They charge $49.95 a month to give access to this website that helps you build. The only thing that they pitched to me out of it is that it helps you build a company logo. So I assume that by, offering some sort of service in it, that they actually, then say, well, we've provided that service. We've provided this software that helps them build a company logo. I did not get far enough into that to find out. I also asked them about my credit report. And so I told them that I was concerned because they called me back after I had read all of the reviews on these different sites, including the Better Business Bureau. Better Business Bureau, by the way, is an enormous amount of complaints. Really interesting. I'll get to that. So Anyway, I said, well, what about, I don't fully trust you guys yet and everything, and so I'm going to be giving you my social security number and my credit card information. And he popped back with, well, we don't actually pull your credit for you. We actually ask you to go and pull your credit report and then share it with us. And I thought to myself, how does that work? And he said he doesn't want a hard hit on my credit, that he wants a soft one by us pulling it so that we don't damage our credit. Okay, makes sense. But what doesn't make sense is, if you're a legitimate business, why can't you just pull it yourself? And so why wouldn't you? And in fact, why do they need to pull it in order to get me the loan? So anyway, I looked into this stuff, and I gotta say, the stuff that I found, oh my. I mean, I found stuff here, goodness, I'm just almost at a loss at how much bad stuff I found. And the reason I'm sharing this is because I'm just telling you my experience so far, and I want to share these other people's experiences with you. I'm not saying that they're a bad company. Maybe they do a lot of business, and they do so much business that all of this negative stuff you see out there is actually a very small percentage. But I was quite alarmed by this, and especially seeing, in fact, I'll just go ahead and get to the Better Business Bureau stuff right now, because they're probably the most trusted authority, because they're not any individual that's saying this. Better Business Bureau says that in the last 3 years, there's 158 closed complaints. That doesn't include all of the ones that are still open. And 91 of them are closed in the last 12 months. And that is a huge number of claims. Now, I can tell you that at my last company that I owned, that we had over 200,000 customers, and we experienced some Better Business Bureau complaints from time to time when someone would want a refund and we were not willing to give a refund, and that was usually the only reason why somebody would complain. And we had very strict policies about that we didn't want to give refunds on product that we had already delivered without being able to get it back, and most of the stuff that we delivered we were not able to take back. And so we had I don't know, 4 or 5 complaints out of those 200,000 people. And we resolved all of them. And this, in fact, talks about how many were resolved with, let's see here. Complaints resolved with Better Business Bureau assistance, 155. And the BBB found that there's good faith efforts on the business owner's part to resolve complaints on 3 unresolved complaints that that the Better Business Bureau blamed the customer for being unreasonable. So it's just, golly. Anyway, I can't believe those kind of numbers, especially if you're doing honest business. And so this one lady says that she was ripped off by them, and this is a pattern. Let me read some of this, and you'll see this pattern here. She said she was lied to and given false information by the company, their senior underwriter, Jamie Jones, in order to get payment from her. Once they received the payment, she was transferred to their business credit coach, Dave Clark. And I was given information and found out that I had been lied to by Jamie. At that point, I mean, why would you feel like you've been lied to by another thing? I mean, yes, there's misunderstandings, but, lied is a strong word. It's a really strong word because, if you misunderstood something, it's one little thing and you take care of that. It's usually pretty easy. And so, anyway, she did the business credit coach, Dave Clark. She immediately asked to cancel due to the false information that she had been given. She was refused a refund, even though she had not been provided with any services and only had a few phone calls and just initial setup. She realized she had become a victim of a fraudulent company. These are her words, and all of these are on the scam report site, which I'll link to in the description, so that anybody can read these. she began with in mid-December and paid $249 on December 20th, speaking with Craig Forsberg, unsecured business funding analyst. She was then charged $2,500. Why do you need to pay so much money to get a loan? You know, she was then paid $2,500 on December 22nd after speaking with their senior underwriter, Jamie Jones, made it very clear to Jamie that she was looking, what she was looking to accomplish, and Jamie, apparently a woman, assured her that her loan would be done based on her high credit score, and it would be a slam dunk. So basically, on the 3rd, she was transferred to Darren Tyler. And by the way, I am skipping around in this information just a little bit because it's just too much to read. He's a credit advisor. Asked her to complete a questionnaire so he could help work on a business plan. And that was completed and faxed back that night and clearly stated what she was looking to do. She was excited about getting all this set up when she spoke to Dave Clark. And on January 6th. But then when I learned that most things that Jamie had told me were not true, and now see, this is the second person that they're saying is untrue information in the line, and that, let's see, wanting to move forward, get their business credit done, and said that it was misleading. Whew, golly. Wanted to cancel based on false information, so trying to cancel again. And then received a business plan on January 11th and told him that she had canceled. And golly, and then she's trying to get her money back still. And and then she saw all the complaints on the Better Business Bureau and said, oh my. She knew she was screwed. Next one, they paid $250 and then paid another $900 to help fix their credit. And even with bad credit, you could get a loan for $249. And then the $900 to fix it. Asked for her money back because it was misleading. They would not give it back. Robert Fuller is one of the people she spoke to. He should not be trusted, she says. They will not return your calls or refund your money. Speaking of calls, I called them several times trying to get more information, and every time it went to voicemail. I never got a human. And you're actually going to hear some of this and some of this other stuff coming up. So here's another one, the ripoff report, beware. And I don't remember if this one was by a man or a woman, says that did some research. Oh, he's impressed. He saw the reports and he did some research and decided to not do business with them. And he's just basically stating that from what he sees, they're a total scam, and he's glad that he didn't do business with them. Here's another one. Company failed to provide me with a product when I requested to honor their request for a refund, which they did tell me that if they could not get me credit, they would refund it. And I asked, well, what if I ask, you know, I go through this process, I pay you the $250, and then this other person tells me that I have to pay more in order to get services, in order to get my credit up to the point where I can get a loan? Then he didn't answer me on that. And also another thing is there's a common theme in here that a lot of people are spending multiple months, and they make you sign up $49 a month for their website that makes your logo for your company. And anyway, it's just a vicious cycle. So they keep billing you. And I read their terms. It said that you had to call them to cancel. Well, if you always get voicemail and you call them to cancel, how long does it take them to call you back? It's a good question. Anyway, paid the fee, and he said that he had to hire a business credit attorney. They spoke to him to hire a business credit attorney for $3,000. Oh my, look at how much money people are spending in order to get a loan. and that it would take approximately 30 to 40 days to complete. You're paying that $49 a month for access to your logo builder, which is an account that they also use to, I believe, communicate with you, and and so you have to keep that open in order to communicate with them to do your loan. Let's see, $1,500 to receive the funds. I mean, goodness gracious. There was another person in here which talked about that that she was billed without her permission $2,000. She paid the $249, and then she was sent over a contract, and she needed to do an electronic signature and send it back. And that the contract listed nothing about any $2,000 charge. And then a month later, she found a $2,000 charge on her bank debit and for her company. And then she tried talking to them, and they said, well, that you agreed to this whenever you signed the contract. And so anyway, she's disputing it with their bank. There's a lot of people talking about disputing with their bank. And if you should always use a credit card to pay for these kinds of things. Always. Because if you're worried at all that you're going to have a dispute, a credit card, you can do a chargeback. A Visa debit or a debit card, it's not the same. You do not have that same protection. You don't have that same insurance on your transactions. You can get your stuff back in the case of fraud, but it is much, much harder. And you may have to kill the card associated with the account to get them to stop. It's horrible, absolutely horrible. And with that said, you think, okay, well, I'll just, my credit card is expiring or whatever. They will test your credit cards. I'm not saying that this company does, but I've encountered that before, to where they test the new expiration dates on your credit cards until they figure it out. So here's another one. They paid for the underwriting. They're paying the $50 a month on the site. And here's another one. Now this guy's kind of funny. He talks about how he has called and asked for a bunch of different names, and then the people answer, they say, oh, I'll get that person. He said he's only spoke to 2 people the whole time. And but they're just using different voices, or they're acting like they are different people. I don't know if that's true or not. I wasn't able to research that, but he has quite an analysis on here of all of the calls that he made and how he was able to figure it out, which I think is quite funny. Here's another one saying that they got a $1,500 charge after the initial $250 charge. And so basically what I'm saying here is that if something sounds too good to be true, do some research. If you find reason to not trust them, go on to the next place. If, a lot of the stuff on the internet, you can't verify whether it's good or not. And so, you should talk to your local bank first. Let me tell you another thing that I found out about credit. And because I've been working on rebuilding my credit, and so I found out that if you get a loan through a non-bank, like one of these finance companies, that it actually hurts your credit score. My bank told me that when I was getting a loan on my vehicle, that they asked me about this finance company that I had on there. And I had a roommate that that we bought some furniture together. I co-signed, and it was not a problem co-signing because I had possession of the furniture, so it wasn't going to be a problem. Otherwise, I'd never co-sign. But anyway, so I found out later that when you go through a finance company, even if it's one of these things where we bought this furniture and it's 12 months same as cash, and so it was like zero cost financing, it was actually, it drops your credit score by like 100 points. That's what my credit union told me. And I was like, holy cow. So I'm trying to make sure that that's paid off, which it just about is, so that my credit will go back up another 100 points. I couldn't believe that. So any payday loan stuff, any car title loan stuff, any finance companies, those all ding your credit. They harm your credit until it's paid off, and then it's better, but it's not worth a 100-point hit. 100 points is huge on your credit score. So anyway, why am I doing this video? It's not because I hate anyone there at this company or anything like that. It's just because I experienced a problem and I thought that I would share it so that, you know, when you are in a situation of needing a loan for anything, whether it's business or personal, and something doesn't go right, that, you know, maybe this will flag something for you and keep you from losing some money. So I hope you find the information valuable. I'm Marcus. Take care.